locations throughout the region, you're just a short drive from all the top tracks across the country and around the world. For a complete list of all EasyBet and branch locations, visit CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB. We're closer than you think. Face it, most horse racing websites are just too much clutter, too much to navigate through. Next time, log on to CapitalOTB.com. Our newly designed website is easier than ever to use, with all the information the professional horse player needs. CapitalOTB.com.
This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Live from Gulfstream Park in South Florida, this is a special edition of Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America live from Gulfstream Park. I'm Seth Merrow. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to our friends at Gulfstream for their sponsorship of the programming here on the network and the nice visit we have here. A nice warm Saturday here at Gulfstream, and we're happy to be here live just outside the paddock. Coming up a little bit later this morning, Dale Romans will join us. He had Jay Boys Echo scheduled to be out on the track. We'll get a little update on that one. He's also got a runner in the Florida Derby, Tommy Bellhouse from West Point Thoroughbreds. They bought into a 3-year-old, always dreaming in the West Point or in the Florida Derby as well. They have some 2-year-olds that they purchased up in Ocala last month. We'll hit on some of that with Tommy and some tape pieces we've done over the last few days. And we'll start the show off going to tape because we were up at Palmettos on Thursday morning, and we kind of bounced around some of the barns. One we stopped into was the Cassie barn. We talked to Norm Cassie, Mark Cassie's top assistant, his son, and we talked a little bit about some of the runners they have this weekend. We also got an update on Classic Empire and an update on Tepin, so we'll take it away right now. Norm Cassie from last Thursday morning up at the Palmettos training facility.
All right, big stakes day on Saturday. Obviously, the highlight, the Florida Derby, State of Honor, and for you guys, a couple of good races at Tampa. What do you expect on Saturday?
We expect more of the same. We really like this horse. We think he's kind of getting a little undervalued. His 2 races at Tampa were a lot better than people are giving him credit for. Most importantly, we got him here. He's doing really well. We think he really likes Gulfstream's main track, and he's really – I love the post position for him. Gets to save a bunch of ground going into the first turn. So we're excited to see him run on Saturday.
What was the game plan of going into 2 races at Tampa and then picking this race?
That wasn't necessarily always the game plan, but we liked sending horses to Tampa. Thought he was a perfect horse for Tampa. In retrospect, maybe the blinkers made him a little too aggressive. The blinkers come off, and we just think he's sitting on another big one, and we'd rather not ship him around trying to find a race when we know he likes Gulfstream Park and he can run a really respectable race here.
Let's talk a little bit about the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Summer Luck, what are your thoughts on her?
Really like this horse. I feel like she's been compromised the last 2 starts. She's kind of had a little bit tough trips, but that's nobody's fault. That's what happens when you take back and you come with one run. You're always compromised a little bit by pace and by trip. She's worked really well coming up to the race, and we know that she likes Gulfstream Park.
And let's talk about some of the other horses the barn's going to run this weekend over at the fairgrounds. Fairground Oaks, you have Corporate Queen.
Corporate Queen, probably another horse that I think probably should have won her last start. She was compromised a little bit. I think maybe Joel was a little bit too conservative, but he saved some for this one. She's a horse that we really like, and she should be right there over at the fairgrounds.
And a Noble Bird in the New Orleans Handicap.
He's a horse we've penciled this race in from the Pegasus day. He always works well, but he's working extremely well for this one. Seems like when he goes over there and he's in a race where he's warrants favoritism, he kind of runs his race instead of when we run him against horses that he may be a little bit over his head. We're putting him in a perfect spot where he can excel, and he should.
Talk a little bit about the champ from last year, Classic Empire. It's been a quirky 3-year-old season. Talk a little bit about the situation and then the decision recently to go to the Arc Derby.
He's just been frustrating, but this has been a frustrating horse from day one. This is not anything different that he hasn't already done before. In fact, he's been doing this even before I went to London for the Royal Ascot. That's how long he's been racing's bad boy, as we like to call him. He just, for whatever reason, wasn't happy here. Don't know what to attribute that to. We sent him over to Ocala. He hasn't had a bad day since then. We picked the Arkansas Derby simply because he had missed so much time. We just feel like he needs one more big work before he's going to be really ready, and Arkansas lets us do that.
What do you want to see out of him going into the Kentucky Derby?
I'd love for him just to run a really respectable race in Arkansas. I don't necessarily think he has to win or that he will win. I think he's going to run well. I hope he runs well enough to get some real fitness into him leading up to the race. And then this group of horses that are leading up to the Derby have kind of underwhelmed a little bit. There hasn't been a real big standout. I think if we can have him ready for the Derby, he'd be really tough.
Talk a little bit about the big girl. Obviously a little hiccup recently. Talk about that and answer, was it a hiccup actually?
Well,
and we're talking about Teppan.
I understand who you're talking about. I just think she's, for whatever reason, she's definitely in season. She's in heat. She hasn't been herself. She hasn't been happy, and that's not just on the racetrack. That's been in the stall and around the barn and everything. You can just tell she's just not in the mood for that right now. She's being treated for that, and we're going to let that, fix itself naturally. And then hopefully when we get her to Churchill, which is her favorite place in the world to be, she turns the corner and we can start training regularly again.
Teppan trying to get clear here, fighting down the outside. Mr. Owen is running on. Teppan in front. They have a furlong to run, and she has turned them away. And she is going to make this her own personal playground. Teppan going on to win the Rico Woodbine Mile.
And obviously it can be hot here in the wintertime down in Florida, and she had the situation up in Saratoga where maybe the heat affected her a little bit. Same kind of a situation, perhaps?
She's a very smart filly. When she's not happy, she doesn't train. She's an easy filly to figure out because her competitiveness is what makes her so great, and it's very easy to measure because she leaves it all out there for you to see. When she's not happy, she's not happy. She wasn't happy at Saratoga. We backed off her training. She wasn't happy here. We backed off her training, and it's simple. She lets us know, and that's probably one of the reasons why we've been so successful for her. She lets us know when she's not happy, and we listen to her.
Let's also hit on Saturday in the Honey Fox Mississippi Delta.
Mississippi Delta is a horse that deserves a look. The race came up a little tougher than we would have thought, but she's doing really well. She likes a turf course. It's a perfect distance for her, and she should be forwardly placed and have a good trip.
Little info from Norm Cassie on his runners this weekend, and again, updates on Classic Empire and Teppan. A couple days ago, it was yesterday. We were in the jockeys room a couple days ago. We got Javier in the jockeys room. Yesterday, we met up with John Velasquez. Again, asked about his runners this weekend. But like I did with Todd, I had him in the winner's circle a couple of days ago, Todd, and I asked him about Dubai and the World Cup and the bad start by Arrogate. As bettors, we all thought, oh, this is interesting. And as a trainer, what did he think? And I asked the same thing of John Velasquez, who was on Neolithic. Nice third in the race. But I said, did you realize what was happening with Arrogate behind you, and what did you think? So we got a little bit of that, and again, some of his runners this weekend. John Velasquez, right now.
All right, obviously big Saturday tomorrow. We'll hit on some of the stakes races in a minute, but before that, I want to go back to last week in Dubai. I asked Todd, As a bettor, when they hit the first turn, I think everybody thought, oh, this could get interesting. Todd said as a trainer, it got a little interesting for him. But I'm just wondering, on the track, did you realize going into the first turn what was happening behind you with Arrogate? What were your thoughts?
I knew then we're going to the first turn, the announcer, which is very rare. You normally don't hear anything, though. The announcer said Arrogate was last. I was like, oh my God, that's what happened to the horse. Just like now it's going to be, going to the first turn, it's like going to be Go Runner and myself. Those two horses that I thought that the three best horses of the race, obviously. With Arrogate being last, I didn't think he'll show up then. He has never been that far back, and I didn't know if something was going wrong with him. So going to the backstretch, I'm thinking like, man, we have a really good chance. I'm thinking, obviously, the horse was pretty fresh. It was taking me where I wanted to be, and I was right near to the lead. 3 pole, I was still there, and I started kind of using my horse a little bit, and Go Runner was kind of getting away from me into the quarter pole, so I was like, let me save a little bit of horse. It seems like he has plenty of horse, and here comes that horse in the outside, and I was like, wow, what an amazing thing, because for things obviously knowing the horse came from last and come running in the quarter pole and go by both of us, it was incredible. Yeah.
So it was an incredible performance by the winner, but it was a nice performance by Neolithic as well.
Yeah, no, he ran a great race. I'll tell you, to show up there and run against two good horses, it was a good race.
Good third, and a good third from Master Plan as well. Talk about his potential.
Master Plan ran a very good race, and I think, we didn't get into trouble, but I had a horse in there on the turn. It was leaning in my horse's backhand, and it was kind of sideways, so it took me a little bit to get him going. He's not very good on the turns, but at that point, that horse just keep pushing him from behind, and the horse in front was getting out. So it took me a long time to get him going, and finally down the lane, we switched the leads, and the horse inside comes out and bumps him sideways. So now it gives me another system of a mile to get him going again, and he still ran a really good race. I think if he gets a clear trip, meaning clear, nothing being pushing around, so he can get his momentum going, he probably would be a lot closer. He ran a really good race.
Yeah, I think the two foreign runners in front of him are going to turn out to be nice horses as well. Let's get to Saturday at Gulfstream. Nona Bella in the Gulfstream Park Oaks, 2 for 2 so far, but stretches out. What are your thoughts on her in the distance?
That's the main thing. Obviously, she's stretching out now, and knowing her, she's been pretty headstrong. Last time out, I was trying to get it back behind somebody, and then it was pretty difficult to get it back. And obviously, she's stretching out now. I think she just needs to relax the first part of the race, even if it's going longer, but so that way we have something to fight down the lane.
Let's talk about the Florida Derby. Todd said yesterday when we talked to him, Battalion Runner out, Always Dreaming in. Horse with a nice record, couple wins in 4 starts, but probably has to step it up a little bit. But what are your thoughts on Always Dreaming?
He is stepping up, obviously. It's like everything. He has 2 really easy races. Basically, not a lot of competition in the race, so you don't know how he's going to react with the tougher competition. Now he's training well. He's training like a good horse, so obviously we have to see how he's going to handle the tougher competition.
And I want to talk about one other that's not going this weekend, but I think has a lot of potential on this Derby trail. That's One Liner. The run in the Southwest gave him a triple-digit buyer, and I think there's only 3-year-olds with triple-digit buyers so far this year. One Liner, one of them, 3 for 3 so far. Give us your thoughts on One Liner.
Very nice horse. He's done everything the right way, and every time we ask him to do something, he keeps stepping up every time. Very impressive win in Oakland. I think if he can come back again, obviously, it's about 3 weeks now or 4 weeks. Hopefully he can come back and do the same thing, but actually he was pretty impressive.
Very good. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Velasquez in the jockey's room yesterday. Nice chance to catch up with him and get a little update on some of his runners. Palmetto's on Thursday morning. We ran into Jimmy Bond, had a chance to talk to him a little bit. He's got that nice debut winner, the 3-year-old filly Scheme, in today's Sanibel Island. He talked about that and more. Jim Bond, right now.
A couple of stakes races coming up on Saturday. Scheme, lightly raced, but certainly has a big potential, big future. Talk about him in the Sanibel Island.
Well, like I say, she actually got a little sick on me in early January, and I was going to plan another event for her, and she's exciting, okay? That's all I can say. She just does everything effortlessly. I don't know how good she is, but she is a good filly, and I don't think I'm overstepping my bounds with her.
Obviously, there's some confidence, though, jumping right out of a debut effort into a stakes race.
Well, she's by a pretty good sire, as we know, his way, and needless to say, and her mother, ran 3 times in the downhill. Dick Mandela is a good friend of mine, and Dick had her mother, and she was a very talented Stormcat filly, and so this filly's just got it all.
talk a little bit about coming up a little bit later on. Our Way in the Appleton comes out of a win in the Sunshine Millions Turf. What are that one's chances on Saturday?
Well, he's just an amazing horse. That horse just puts his heart out and chases it. Again, a lot like the sire, his way again, and he's just a lawnmower. I mean, you give him a firm turf course, he's there. I mean, the Belmont race, you got to throw it out. That's all I can tell you. We pointed for the Sunshine Millions coming down here, and I pointed to the Appleton when I left that, and I got to try to figure out what we're going to do after that.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. CapitalOTB.com offers live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, and a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform. And best of all, you get track prices. Going on now, it's Bet 50, Get 50. Simply open a Capital Bets account, bet $50, and get $50 cash back. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
It may be cold in the Northeast, but in South Florida, the action's hot. This winter, be part of the championship meet at Gulfstream Park, where the fields are deep and the payouts are big. With some of the most competitive turf racing in America, Gulfstream Park is your winter destination for the finest in championship thoroughbred horse racing. And if you're looking for the top jockeys and best trainers, you'll find them all at Gulfstream Park. So play it today. Gulfstream Park. Champions start here.
Be sure to join NYRA handicapper and racing analyst Andy Serling at the Clubhouse Racebook in Albany. Andy will be handicapping live the day's races and managing a $1,500 bankroll on behalf of 50 lucky patrons. To be part of Andy's bankroll team, sign up at the Clubhouse Racebook or online at CapitalOTB.com.
With more than 60 Easy Bet and branch locations throughout the region, you're just a short drive from all the top tracks across the country and around the world. For a complete list of all Easy Bet and branch locations, visit CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB. We're closer than you think. The road to the Kentucky Derby ends with the most exciting 2 minutes in racing, but getting there begins long before then. With 34 prep races that span 15 tracks, the best place to watch, wager, and win is Capital OTB and OTB TV. It's the Florida Derby from Gulfstream Park and the Louisiana Derby from the Fairgrounds, the Wood Memorial, and the Arkansas Derby from Oaklawn Park. For in-depth coverage and expert analysis of all the Derby prep races, stay with Capital OTB and OTB TV.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Welcome back to Racing Across America, live from Gulfstream Park. Happy to be joined now by our friend Penelope Miller, the senior manager of digital media for America's Best Racing. Good morning, Penelope.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on.
Happy to have you here. You were up in the press box with us the last couple of days and been zipping around the track. You got your cameras here. That's part of your deal. Talk a little bit about exactly what you're doing when you go to these big events for America's Best Racing.
Well, my job is to help bring new people into the best sport in the entire world. And to do that, we'd like to show off a little bit of everything that happens at the racetrack. So that can be, everything from horses working out in the morning to the scene at the track, the cocktails, the food, the atmosphere, the fashion, the celebrities. And to do that, we really utilize social media. So we have really active Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter accounts, Pinterest, and just trying to reach a big new audience through the mediums where they're most comfortable and most active. So to do that, the cameras really help because giving people a literal clear picture of what happens at the racetrack really does bring them in. And we're also super utilizing the live stream aspects of social media. So Instagram Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, all that good stuff. And of course, Snapchat again to bring people into the races and give them an idea of what they'll find when they come to the track.
Fair to say you're essentially the promotional arm of the Jockey Club?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you guys do a great job. The website, if you type into Google America's Best Racing, you can check that out. We'll get to a little bit more of that in just a second. But one of the things, I have you on the show a lot by phone. We have you up at Saratoga. But a lot of what you do, you bounce around to the big events and you do some diary entries for the website to kind of plug people into what happened, as you say, behind the scenes and in the mornings and the fashion, the celebrities and whatnot. I want to touch on one of the diaries you did just recently, because it was here fairly recently, but it was the inaugural Pegasus World Cup here at Gulfstream Park. Talk about year one of that. And they hit it out of the park with, California Chrome and Arrogate. What was it like to be here?
It was phenomenal. I mean, from the moment I got here at about 8:30 in the morning, there were already people lined up outside. There was so much interest. It was a beautiful day in South Florida. It was so exciting to have these incredibly talented horses all gathered after the Breeders' Cup season.
Yeah.
At a time where sometimes you don't really have the depth of fields that you do in the later part of the year. So to me, to see the continuation of that caliber of racing and to have people, because there were a lot of people I spoke to here as well who had never been to the races before. And then, my hat is off to Mr. Stronach and the people who brought in, there were some major celebrities here as well, which generates a lot of interest outside of the sport. I mean, when you have Usher and, all these people coming in, that generates a lot of buzz. I mean, I saw photographs from the Pegasus World Cup appearing on fashion blogs. And to me, that's an amazing way to reach out to a new audience.
Yeah, and that's what the game plan is all about.
Absolutely. And then to have, the Pegasus World Cup with Arrogate just putting in that command performance that set him up for that remarkable Dubai World Cup. It's just, to see him really blossoming into this freakishly good horse is thrilling. And I think that, without that Pegasus World Cup, people wouldn't be making the statements they're making about him now. So to me, it was an incredibly successful day, an exciting day, and I really enjoyed every moment of it.
And again, you can go back and check into Penelope's diary on the website. All of that is still archived, and follow some of the big days. And over the past couple of years, I've had you on when you were at some of the other events, and not just nationally, internationally. You've been to the last year and a half, Hong Kong, Dubai. I'm curious, and big events, obviously, at Santa Anita, where you started your career over at Tampa Bay Downs. You get over there for some of their big races. So bigger tracks, smaller tracks. I'm curious if you can pinpoint one, or maybe you don't want to insult anybody, but do you have a favorite racetrack?
It's hard to pick a favorite, but there are certain trips I look forward to every year. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before. Last year, I took my inaugural trip to Oaklawn Park for the
I like Oaklawn. I've been there once, but
it's so cool. So I've become the Oaklawn evangelist, but I can't pick.
It has a similar Saratoga vibe almost, with the community there involved and the crowd that gets there and the neighborhood around the track.
It does, plus the added bonus of Al Capone. It was Al Capone's playground. So it's got that spa, the horse racing, and this gangster vibe. It's so cool.
And, of course, Saratoga has the casinos and a little bit of that vibe going on as well.
But, it's going to sound cheesy, but I genuinely, I can't pick a favorite racetrack. I know just how lucky I am to be able to visit all of these.
Best job in racing.
Best job in racing. It's true. But, I think that each and every racetrack that I've been to has so many different aspects that are singularly unique and exciting about those tracks that every time I go to a racetrack, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get to Santa Anita because I love all these things about it. Oh, I can't wait to get to Gulfstream because I love all these things about it. I mean, racetracks are just cool.
Yeah, I agree. Wherever I go, you look to see small or large, thoroughbred or harness. I want to stop by the local track and get a feel for it. And as I say, you get to bounce around and go to some of the big events as well. The big event here, obviously, the Florida Derby. I know we were talking yesterday, and I like Gunnevera, and it looks like you like Gunnevera too, but maybe for a different reason. I'm checking the numbers and looking at the betting, and you being on social media and looking at the behind the scenes. They just have a trainer and an ownership behind the horse that is enthusiastic, and that makes it a nice horse to maybe plug into social media.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously everybody's excited when they have a horse on the Triple Crown Trail, no doubt. But to see just the unbridled enthusiasm that's coming from Gunnevera's team is so much fun. I mentioned to you, if you go on Twitter and look it up, there is a video of Gunnevera's trainer in the Holy Bull, I believe. Yeah. He's so excited. The horse is winning, and he just takes off and chases the horse to the finish line. And when you see something like that, it makes me just really want to root for the Connections because they are having so much fun and they're so in the moment. And I wish them the best of luck because it's a thrill to see people who are as excited about these horses as, the fans get.
And there's an article on the America's Best Racing website about the ownership group. That's intriguing as well. People can check that out. And let's get back to the website for a second just as we wrap up, because I was visiting again last night. I'm a regular visitor. Again, America's Best Racing. You can type it into Google and you'll find it if you haven't yet. But particularly on big days like this, it's a great place to visit because there's some info on the big events themselves. There's some suggestions on betting strategies and whatnot. But again, the background of the events. But I went yesterday, and just beyond that, the Bob Ehalt piece on Dan Crump was very good.
One of my favorite pieces of the year so far.
Highly recommended. We love Bob as well, but that's a fairly recent piece, but it's great history of the game. And I had never seen this before. I pulled up the gambling calculator where you can pull up what kind of wager you want to make and kind of do a fantasy wager, as it will, to see how much your real bet will cost. I think that's a nice little feature as well. Talk a little bit about the America's Best Racing website and just what folks will find.
Absolutely. Well, we do focus on the big events around the calendar year because we do find that that's what are the touch points for people who are just getting interested in the sport. And we try to tell stories, everything from the people and horses involved in the racing to guides. I mean, where to watch and listen if you can't make it to the track, how to bet, what to wear, what to eat and drink while you're visiting a certain racetrack. Just a little bit of everything to try to help people find those touch points to get interested. And then we do recap videos. We have a very strong video team who are just, I'm blown away by the talent that we have working for us. And we also do slideshows, just a little bit of everything. And we hope that there's something for everyone. But we really do try to focus it towards a new or developing fan who, they might not know what a tri-part wheel is, but we can help them make a win bet. And that's where the gambling calculator comes in as well, because, I've been unsuccessfully playing horses for a long time. But even I sometimes look at a bet I'm making and I'm like, wait, do I want to spend this amount of money? Yeah.
And again, that's a fun little addition to the site as well. It's highly recommended. Great pieces on the big race days as well. Type it in, as I say, to Google, America's Best Racing. Penelope, we enjoyed the visit. Senior Manager of Digital Media. You'll see her work on the website quite often. You could follow her on Twitter. She'll be out here this afternoon taking some snaps of the big day here at Gulfstream Park. Penelope, again, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me on.
All right, we're going to go to another tape piece. Again, out at Palmettos the other day, we talked to Chad Brown. We got a little update on some of his 3-year-olds. So races today as well, but we talked cloud computing, practical joke, and an update on Lady Eli. Up next, Chad Brown.
All right, big stakes weekend coming up. You have Olorda running. Had a little trouble last time looking for a rebound.
Yeah, didn't get a good trip last time. Probably needed the race as well. She was off quite a layoff. She came back and breezed well twice for me, so I thought I'd give another chance.
All right, well, let's talk some of the 3-year-olds. Obviously, it's that season. You've got some horses that have some real potential. Obviously, Practical Joke, big season last year. Ran second in the Fountain of Youth. Probably going to get a little barometer race with the Florida Derby. But what are you looking for next up for Practical Joke?
I'm going to take him to Bluegrass. I thought he would benefit from an extra week of training. He ran well in the Fountain of Youth off the layoff. Got quite tired. I thought he got a lot out of it. So, we decided to take him up to Keeneland. And like I said, I think the extra week will help him.
And there goes Practical Joke to confront 3 rules on the top end. But Gunnevera looms large off the speed as they turn for home with a short stretch to work with. With the lead, it's Practical Joke, but Gunnevera over the top is on to the front now. 3 rules battles on gamely. These 3 well clear of the others. But it will be Gunnevera and Javier Castellano moving clear. Gunnevera for local trainer Antonio Sano romps in the Fountain of Youth. Practical Joke second. 3 rules.
Give us a little feel for cloud computing. Lightly raced, but obviously there's plenty of potential there. What's next up for cloud computing?
Cloud computing's a horse we've always thought a lot of. Last year's a 2-year-old. Unfortunately, a minor injury. We had to put him on the sidelines, and we're just patient with the horse. He got a late start, but he's very talented. I'm looking forward to running him in the Wood Memorial. I think he'll have no problem with the added distance. He's an exciting horse. We'll see if he can catch up in time.
Cloud Computing fights on. El Arib checked toward the inside and is giving it up late. Racing for the 8th pole, J-Boy Zeko has gone clear now by 2, now by 3. Cloud Computing angles outside for a final try, but J-Boy Zeko is gone in the Gotham. J-Boy Zeko from off the pace wins it by 3. Solid effort from Cloud Computing to be second by another 5.
How do you decide? Triple Crown Trail, obviously the calendar puts a deadline on everything. How do you decide where to parse your horses and which prep spots to go to?
Yeah, I just find normally those things sort themselves out. it's been an easy decision for me with cloud computing because he's up in New York and he's right there. And with Practical Joke, it really came down for me to timing. I just decided what weekend I want to run the horse based on his development, and I want to run him on the 8th, and I already have a horse for the Woods, so that opens up the Bluegrass. So for me, I only have 2 of them this year, so it sorted itself out.
Give us a little update on Lady Eli. I saw she worked last Saturday. How's she doing?
She's doing excellent, Philly. She's coming around nicely. She's getting ready a little sooner than I thought she would. She should be able to make the Jenny Wiley at Keeneland.
Congratulations, by the way, on the Eclipse.
Thank you. Thanks.
What are your thoughts for this year?
Hopefully more of the same. We had a great year last year. We're lucky we have a lot of talented horses in the barn, and my staff's doing a great job keeping them all happy and healthy. And it comes down to just keeping the horses sound and keeping everyone on a schedule. And if we don't have too many injuries, we have the horsepower to do well again.
Chad Brown with a little update of some of the 3-year-old action, update on Lady Eli as well. All right, we'll go to the break. We also had a chance to catch up with our friend Eric Guillot here at the track a couple days ago. We talked to him. He'll be in the Palm Meadows piece coming up a little bit later. But we also talked a little gumbo with Eric. That'll just lead us into the break. Eric Guillot up next, and then when we come back, Tommy Bellhouse, West Point Thoroughbreds. Stay tuned.
It's too hot for gumbo, but we might make some jambalaya. We had a crawfish ball a couple weeks ago. It was good.
Gumbo when you get back to Saratoga, though.
Yeah, like gumbo, or we'll do jambalaya, maybe something different. Might surprise all the New Yorkers. I might make a red gravy. Maybe teach them all that sauce they keep talking about in New York. They don't know how to make a sauce. I could sneeze on it and give it more flavor than that.
This is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow.
Coming right back, the American, the Iroquoian, and it is Theatrical in front. Trempolino driving hard, full out into turn to get him, and here is the wire, and Theatrical has won it. Absolutely spectacular.
Not at the track and not near a computer? No problem. Wager with Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System and you'll never get shut out again. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System is quick, simple to use, and guarantees your wagers are accurate and placed on time. For more information, visit CapitalOTB.com or call Capital OTB's customer service hotline at 800-292-BETS. Capital OTB's Touch-Tone Wagering System. Never get shut out again.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit RTN.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Now get all the racing information you need right on your mobile device with Capital OTB's new mobile app. Wager anytime, anywhere, right from your smartphone or tablet. Watch, wager, and win right at your fingertips. The new Capital OTB mobile app.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. Seth Merrow here live in Florida, Gulfstream Park, right outside the paddock. Happy to be joined by our friend Tommy Bellhouse from West Point Thoroughbreds. We're not in Saratoga, Tom.
We're not in Saratoga, my friend.
We love to be there, but not in early April necessarily. It's beautiful down here.
Well, I spoke with my wife this morning, and the flurries are flying, and they're coming again. And Terry Finley, my boss, who normally would be here today, but he's in Texas for a wedding, texted me yesterday, Oswego State, my alma mater, Al Roker was there, and he said, Al Roker's at Oswego, and I said, better him than me.
Oh, he was up there doing the
Yeah.
yeah, he's up there because we are still getting a little winter weather, but not down here. So I'm happy.
We're ready for some big days today.
And it's going to be a big day, obviously, with the Florida Derby, and I wanted to talk to you guys on various topics. But West Point Thoroughbreds jumped in and pulled a little piece of the Todd Pletcher runner, Always Dreaming. We're going to go back to the March 4th allowance optional claiming event. Always Dreaming is going to be the #1 horse here. Wins as a short-priced favorite. Goes into the Florida Derby this afternoon with a little bit of buzz. Tommy, talk about your jumping in as the West Point partnership as part of the owners for Always Dreaming, and what you think this afternoon.
Well, the race you're about to show is we were in the race with another nice 3-year-old that we have called Fire for Effect, who broke his maiden down here for Dale. And, this particular horse, that we've been following this horse. We have a great relationship with the Violas, Vinny and Teresa, St. Elias Stable. We're partners with them on Ring Weekend and a number of other horses. So when this horse won, there was some real action going on with him. We are a big fan of Bodemeister, the young stallion, and there was an opportunity. Thank you to the Violas and the Bonomos and that whole partnership group, and Anthony Manganaro of Sienna Farm jumped in. So it's just a great opportunity. Terry was able to give an opportunity for some of our partners to have a taste of a horse that we're really excited about. And today's a big test, but he's been really, really brilliantly managed by Todd. He got the 2-turn race to start to break his maiden over at Tampa, which was a little unorthodox, but comes back and wins the allowance race, which by no fault of his own was fairly slow. The fractions were, but when you watch him gallop out, he bolted away from the field by 20 lengths, and everything's gone his way since. He's had a couple of great works. I think that if you look at we drew great. We drew post 4. There's speed to the inside of us. There's speed way to the outside. Watching Johnny ride enough races for Todd over the years, they'll go. He'll just either go with them if they don't go, or he'll just angle out, be in that 2-path, and then we find out how good he is. And I know there's a lot of people on our team are very excited about him.
Yeah, and it's always fun to have a 3-year-old at this time of the year, and the 3-year-old with a little bit of potential, and see where this one can take you. So for your partners, I wish you and all of them some good luck this afternoon. But I know you guys are also going to be paying attention to the simulcast screens. I wanted to bring up at least 1 or 2 others over in New Orleans this afternoon at Fairgrounds. In the New Orleans handicap, you have Breaking Lucky. We're going to go back and look at the Clark from last fall at Churchill Downs. He'll run second, but he runs second to Gunrunner, who ran huge, I thought, in Dubai last week. So to run second to him, a pretty good effort. Came back and didn't run so well in the Pegasus, but a lot of horses didn't behind Arrogate there. But you're coming back with Breaking Lucky again this afternoon over at Fairgrounds.
Yeah, I think, we kind of knew with the draw. When we drew post 10, we were really in no man's land. You had Pegasus. California Chrome to the outside of us, and anybody who watched last week's Dubai World Cup, Gunrunner was loaded for. Arrogate is a freak. And Gunrunner rode a race that 9 times out of 10 would be something we'd be talking about for the next 20 years. He just, it's
Arrogate's out of the race. You're talking Gunrunner in a big performance.
Unbelievable. And, so the fact that we ran second to him, and the horse really trained great, and we were kind of a little bit of a wise guy horse for the Pegasus. A lot of people loved the way we were training. And it just, you were damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he tries to go up early into that first turn and get into the pace to get some position, and you lose a lot of ground, and then if you drop back, this track traditionally is a tough track to close from that deep, and that'll be something that actually in today's Florida Derby will be interesting with Gunnevera. He's going to have a lot of horses to pass, but Breaking Lucky is an exciting horse. He's another one that to see our Silks in the Pegasus was great, and we don't really have a horse in that older handicap division right now, and other than on the turf side, but on the dirt, Reed Baker does a great job, and will be real interesting to see the map, the course he maps out for the rest of the year.
And again, let's go to some of the other divisions because we'll talk 2-year-olds in a second. You were active at the sales in the past month and a half or so, but I wanted to go to a 3-year-old the other day because you guys knocked me out of the picks. I should have known, but I just thought, man, Firster from George Weaver, his numbers are okay, but there were some other horses that I liked. But I'm going to go back to March 24th, just a few days ago, right here at Gulfstream. A nice little turf event, and number 1 Caught is going to win 10-1, gets up by a neck in the career debut. Man, you got a nice one here.
You know, George has done this to us twice down here. He put Reason to Soar over a few weeks back, and he'll run tomorrow at Tampa in a stake. But Caught, we had entered for a Florida-bred maiden special on the dirt, and it didn't go. And they kind of said they weren't going to bring it back till today. And George felt the horse was doing really well. Actually, it was a Sunday morning he called. He was skiing in Colorado with his family, and he says, listen, there's a race on the grass. He goes, I really want to enter. And I'm like, okay, he goes, he's ready. Let's see what he can do. It might be a little long for him. It was a bizarrely run race. There was a little incident on the first turn in the back of the field that kind of, got the field a little scrambled. And our horse, he just dropped fourth and dropped his head. And Bill Mott had a horse that was stretching out that ran a terrific race. And I think the mile was in like 134 or something. It was really, really a tremendous race. And we got him at the wire. And, at the 16th, Paul, I wasn't sure we'd get him. But really an exciting horse. George is taking his time with these 2 horses. They had little issues during the summer at Saratoga and in the fall, and just gave him plenty of time. And now you have 2 exciting 3-year-olds coming in. This horse will probably stick to Florida for a little while, try to take advantage of the non-winners of 1 down here. Reason to Soar, the horse that's going to run at Tampa tomorrow, has the really odd distinction of not only being a Florida bred, but a New York stallion. He's by Soaring Empire. Yeah. So we're eligible for those restricted races in New York, and there's one at the end of the month. If he were to run well, I think we might take a look at that as well. So a lot of options to have an exciting, couple of exciting 3-year-olds in the Weaver barn.
Nice. And I'm just going to alert the guys up in Albany. If you can kind of skip over the next piece and go right to Ron and Acacia, have that one queued up, and we'll wrap up with Tom and go to that. So skip over the next one and go right to Ron and Acacia and have that one queued, and we'll go because I want to spend another minute or 2 with Tommy here because as I looked at the website, and you guys have a great website. I'll recommend people go to it. It's all kinds of information, and not just for your partners, which provides great information, but just generally. And there's a lot of information about if you're going to the 2-year-old sales, what do you look for? And so I highly recommend if people go to the West Point Thoroughbreds website. But part of what I saw yesterday, a couple of horses you picked up at Barrett's, the one going to Hollendorfer by Creative Cause. You mentioned the Sales Topper as well. And then you bought some nice ones over at Ocala earlier in March as well.
Well, the relationship with Jerry Hollendorfer has really helped our company tremendously. Not only is he a Hall of Fame trainer, but he really is creative, and he has clients and owners that are willing to go in on some stuff together where he'll be the manager. So we've gotten involved on a few levels where we've taken minority interest in some nice horses and then partnered up with Jerry. He's come in on a few horses with us. So it really it gives a lot of confidence to our partners seeing that the trainer is involved, and
it allows also for West Coast people to participate in West Point.
Oh, absolutely. And we've always had a strong presence out there with Awesome Gem and Tropic Storm and El Gato Malo, but Rock Me Baby in recent years. But to really have a significant presence out there, again, we bought that colt at OBS March that you said by the Factor. And then to be out at Barrett's, Terry and the team went out. We've had great success. We bought Spooky Woods, our nice 3-year-old filly that is looking at a graded stake in her next start. But to come away with a Jimmy Creed, we had a Jimmy Creed we liked at OBS March that he had about 15,000 into. We thought we might get a decent price. He went for almost 400. So we were like, okay, we got run over there. But we bought a nice Jimmy Creed. The Creative Cause was a beautiful. We like him as a young stallion. And then the Sales Topper with the Malibu Moon that we reached a little bit, but B. Wayne Hughes jumped in and took half with Spendthrift Farm. We had the relationship with Freedom Child years ago. B. Wayne Hughes jumped in on him as well. So it gives it, having these strategic partnerships in racing is the way of the future. You see more and more of it, like today at the Florida Derby, and we couldn't be happier.
And again, I'll advise people swing by the website. You type West Point Thoroughbreds into Google, it'll take you right to it. You can get some information about the partnership itself, but just some general information. You can follow. It's when we do the handicapping show, it's always fun. Roddy Valenti and you guys, it's always fun to root for the local owners.
Absolutely.
And I'll also say, if you want to get a partnership, these guys are great because I've stood next to the crew as they are watching the big screen downstairs at the clubhouse at Saratoga. And if West Point has a runner going, it's a lot of fun.
Well, no question, and I really appreciate you guys having me on today. I know I'm the warm-up act for the big man, Dale Romans, but actually I don't want to forget we have a horse in with Dale today in the 6th race, a maiden, and he's been training great, so we're all excited about that as well. So.
All right, good luck this afternoon, and of course in the Florida Derby with Always Dreaming as well. See if you can march along the Derby Trail, the Triple Crown Trail, so good luck.
We'll know by the end of the day, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, appreciate the visit.
My pleasure, buddy.
Tom Bellhouse, West Point Thoroughbreds. We'll go into the break. We have a piece here, taped it yesterday, right here on this set with Ron Nicoletti and Acacia Courtney. Got the Gulfstream Park handicappers talking a little Florida Derby for this afternoon, and then maybe some clever ideas as well on the other part of the card. Stay tuned for that. We'll be back after the break with Dale Romans. Let's see if we can have a little meeting of minds here on the big race of the meet as well. Compare and contrast. What do you guys like in the Florida Derby? Acacia, you go.
All right, I'll go first. I went with Always Dreaming, and I know that this is a horse that's gotten a lot of attention lately, very highly touted for Todd Pletcher, but the last couple of races, even though he hasn't really faced the toughest competition, I thought were really impressive, showed a lot of talent. I love the post position for him. I do think there will be a bit of pace in this race, which might be the negative for him, but I'm really interested to see how he fares. I think since he's moved to Todd's barn, they've handled him with care, and he fits in this spot.
He's the only horse in the race to ever win in a mile and 1/8. I got him on a ticket, but I really like Impressive Edge here. I'm going for a little bit of a shot, and I'll tell you why. I think there's a lot of speed, as you said. I think there's going to be a really strong pace in there. I like this horse's performance last time in allowance. I think that Impressive Edge sits behind the speed and I think wins it, off the pace. And I just see the inside horse going along with 3 rules and setting up for a horse like mine, Impressive Edge.
It really could. He has to stretch out to 2 turns for the first time. Dale Romans, of course, saying distance is his concern, but he's been working sensationally. Definitely a very fast, talented horse.
We haven't mentioned Gunavera. If he wins it, I would not be surprised at all. He's a closer. He's going to sit behind the pace, and I'm just surprised you didn't pick that one.
I picked him in second. I definitely like him. He's saying, because he's trying to say I always pick favorites, which is not true. But I definitely respect him, and it's been great to see the enthusiasm from the connections. I think they had half of Venezuela in the winner's circle last time.
They did. Absolutely.
Very good. So we've got the Florida Derby. Now let's get something clever, or maybe something we can stick in a Rainbow Six ticket on Saturday.
Well, we like different horses in the Pan Am, and she's going to tell you about the horse that she likes in there.
Oh, well, I really like Sadler's Joy. He comes out of the same race as Glebe and Patterson Cross. I know you're a Patterson Cross fan, and I respect him too. I loved Sadler's Joy at a price last time in the McKnight, and I thought he ran huge. He's another one that's kind of been handled carefully for Tom Albertrani. He had this really strong late surging move last time, so I hope he gets a little bit of pace to run at today, but distance is no problem for this horse, and he is a beautiful animal, thinking he's really just getting better as he goes.
Well, I bet Patterson Cross last time, broke from an outside post and just got beat when he crossed the wire. He come ahead from winning the McDermott, and I just thought off that performance, had to go back with that horse again. Did I leave your horse off? No, but I think that's another great race on the card, and I'm a big Patterson Cross fan, as you know.
I know you are, and we actually both like to price in one of the undercard races in the 9th race, a really strong allowance race. Barack actually 12-1 on the morning line. He's got some speed for Kieran McLaughlin, but funny, we both ended up picking him.
He's 12-1. He's ran at a mile and 3/16 in both races. 2 starts back. He gets beat ahead by Patterson Cross. Now he's in an allowance race. It is the first race in the Rainbow Six sequence, race number 9 with a 14 race card, and I'm just hoping we get 12-1 on that horse.
I hope so.
And just talk before we wrap up a little bit about if we get through tomorrow, Saturday. That's the big day of the meet. But Sunday, with that carryover, folks tune into the simulcast. I'm assuming some tickets will be played.
Yes.
We'll be playing some. Seth and I talk every week about this, and we'll be sending it in on that day. They were looking like about $8 million maybe in the pool, right?
I think so. Gabby and I actually took a look at the sequence this morning, putting our tickets together, and it is not easy to get that Rainbow Six to an affordable wager. So find some friends. I've got a couple friends here. Hopefully we'll try and get
Wait, I got a $16 ticket.
What?
Very good. Very good. That was great. Thanks to Ron Nicoletti and Acacia Courtney for giving some thoughts on this afternoon. Happy to be joined now by trainer Dale Romans. He's got some horses for this afternoon that we'll hit on. Good morning, Dale.
Good morning. It's unusual for me to be on here with you at this time of year.
Saratoga in Florida, as it were. We have you on every year up in Saratoga and appreciate your visits there. But you've got some horses to talk about down here. Again, in today, but you have a really nice 3-year-old that isn't in today, but was out on the track. While we talk, we're going to pull up the Gotham from March 4th. J-Boy's Echo is going to be the number 1 horse in here. Tosses in a 102 buyer figure. I think only 3 3-year-olds so far have tossed triple-digit buyers. J-Boy's Echo is one of them. He was out on the track working this morning. Give us an update.
He worked super this morning. He's not a big-time workhorse. He's a little bit lazy when he gets out there and does things. And it's not my style to work my horse in company after they get started running, but we took him in company today, and he went around there in about a minute flat and galloped out strong and looked good doing it.
What's up next for him?
Bluegrass.
Okay.
Next week. Bluegrass has been good to us and gotten us to the Derby a few times, and it's in my backyard. And he already has the points. I mean, Aqueduct was good to us this year, and we got our points to get in. And so we'll go home, flies out tomorrow, first class, right into Lexington and prepare for the Bluegrass and then down the road for the Derby.
You talk about Aqueduct being good to you, and I'm guessing mentally he's a nice horse because you went back and forth. You popped up to the Withers and ran 3rd there. Then you came back to Florida, popped up to the Gotham and won that one and came back to Florida. So mentally he must be a good horse.
He's a strong mental horse, and I love going into Aqueduct. I think that's the most pure horse racing fan there is in the world. And they either love you or they hate you, and they seem to show me a lot of affection. I love going up there. But, I don't like training there. These horses don't like being in the cold. They burn a lot of calories. They train on different racetracks. So we figured it would be better just to ship back and forth. And I went up both times and really had a good time.
Yeah, it's again, with the triple-digit buyer coming out of that, he is going to be intriguing to see next time in the Bluegrass. So comes out of this morning with a good work. Let's hit on some of the action for this afternoon. In the Orchid, you have Quiet Kitten. Short field comes out of the second-place finish last time in the Very One. What are your thoughts this afternoon for Quiet Kitten?
Well, I mean, she's a horse that's steadily on the improve, and it looks like she likes the distance. First time out when we ran her, she ran well going long, and of course that separates horses. A lot of them can't do it, and that's why we probably have a short field. It's a solid field, though. All 5 horses, any of the 5 horses can win, and and nobody's going to be surprised.
I agree completely. The Sir Shackleton, these are 4-year-olds and up, sprinting 7 furlongs. Bluegrass Singer comes out of a win last time. It was in an optional claimer, so stepping into a stakes company. Back in, had some stakes earlier in the career, but comes in. I'm a numbers guy. I like the buyers, and comes in off a nice 102 buyer last time. Bluegrass Singer.
102
afternoon.
Seems to be the number, right? And for both my horses, but yeah, Bluegrass Singer. We picked him up this winter, and he was coming off a year layoff, and I just loved this horse. Every time he breathes, he was, he wowed me. And it took him a little while, maybe just to get fit. I mean, it was a long layoff. I thought we had him fit, but last race was spectacular. And down here in an allowance race, it's like a stake a lot of times.
Yeah. And so he's, again, in the Sir Shackleton. And let's get to the Florida Derby. Again, J-Boy's Echo headed to the Bluegrass, but you have an entrant this afternoon, Impressive Edge. The question mark here is going to be the distance, obviously. Comes out of an allowance optional claimer. Won that one pretty nicely last time, but it was at 7 furlongs. Has never been beyond the sprint distance. What are your thoughts this afternoon for Impressive Edge?
Well, it's a good race, but this is a very athletic horse. Does everything right. Of course, when you haven't done something, you have to wonder whether or not he'll get the distance, but everything says he should. And he's just a fast horse. So fast horses that can go long, they're dangerous.
And also, are you willing to roll the dice a little bit on a year like this where the 3-year-olds just haven't defined themselves?
Yeah, when you have any 3-year-old, any year, I think, when they start coming around and peaking this time of year, there's so much. It's so important to try to make it to the Classics that you should give him a shot.
Yeah.
We can always back up and find. We know he's a great one-turn horse, and we can always back up, and there's some really good races around the country. But he came together at the right time, take one big shot, and see where he puts us.
And talk a little bit about, we wrap up the championship meet tomorrow. You've had a great championship meet. I was looking this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 starters, 2 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. So a pretty good week as well. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the championship meet this year.
This meet's been really good to us. I came down here with low expectations, I guess. I told Caton one day here we had to pull a rabbit out of the hat and try to come up with some good ones, but this thing's fell into place. And the right races went, the right horses started turning around and doing right at the right times, and it's been a great meet. And hopefully we can carry it on through the whole year.
And again, you're a Kentucky guy, so the game plan now is to move on and Keeneland and Churchill.
They start out tomorrow. I think we got the first 16 heading to Churchill tomorrow. We got 6 up there waiting on us, and all the babies start coming in. It's heading to the Kentucky before Saratoga, and it's an exciting time of year. You get your young stock in, you get Triple Crown stuff going on, and it's a lot of fun to be in the horse business right now.
And as a guy, you're stabled on the backstretch here at Gulfstream. There are training facilities all over down here, but you're local, so I'm just curious if maybe you can give us an idea for today, because yesterday in the 7th race, you won with Tarpey Zapper. That was a front-end win. You were out working this morning. You have any thoughts of maybe a little bias on the track or not?
I've never been a biased player.
Okay.
Never been a biased guy. If I have a horse that likes to close, we're going to close no matter what the racetrack plays. So I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I think the track's fast. Tarpey ran really fast yesterday, but there's a chance he's a grade 1 horse. He's a really good colt that we had a lot of little issues with last year, and we tried to get him on the Derby trail. I thought he was one of my best 3-year-olds. Finally had to bite the bullet back off, and he came back and is going to be really nice.
Very good. Dale will wrap things up, but again, good luck this afternoon, and good luck going forward with J-Boy's Echo as well. It's always fun to have a 3-year-old this time of year marching on the Derby Trail, the Triple Crown Trail, and maybe Travers in a few months with us up in Saratoga.
Travers has been good to me, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, would love to have another one of those days.
It was very, very good.
Would love to have another day like that. There's outside of winning a Triple Crown race, I think that's the biggest thing you could do in this game is win the Travers.
It's for us, it's certainly the highlight of the summer season. And again, a couple of years ago, with the Triple Crown winner in there, you guys had the upset, and so we'll see what happens this year.
Anything's possible in this game, right?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so much fun.
That's why everybody plays it.
Dale, appreciate the visit this morning. Good luck this afternoon. We'll see you down the road.
See you later.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of wrap things up for being live here at Gulfstream Park. Stay tuned.
Big weekend coming up. Obviously, the highlight's going to be the Florida Derby. Gunnevera comes in at the top or near the top of most people's lists. Outside post position, is that a concern?
Not at all. It's that kind of horse. He come from behind. I don't think he have a problem. If it would be a different story, if the horse got the speed horse, but usually come from behind. I don't think it's going to bother at all. And plus, last time in Roma 16, now we stretch him out, and it's going to give you a little break to the first turn.
Holy Bull to the Fountain of Youth, there was obviously some improvement there, and maybe just a different running style of the pace of the race may have been a little bit different too. But talk a little bit about the improvement from the first start this year to last time in the Fountain of Youth.
Well, in the Holy Bull, it was a different story. Not much speed in the race. I had to chase a little bit to put my horse in early speed, basically. And he didn't work out. I think I changed my plan and tried to be a little right his own style and come from behind horse. And I think he paid off in the Fountain Youth. I think that I want to stick with my same plan. Hopefully, horses get the speed. Hopefully, they could put a good pace in the race. I go with the flow, see how he developed the race.
All right, let's talk about another talented 3-year-old you've ridden. Malagasy won the Rebel last time. I'll talk a little bit about that one and his talent.
Well, it's a great horse. He didn't do anything wrong. He run 3 times. He won 3 times already. It's a beautiful horse. He got the speed, different style to Gunnevera. But the good thing about that horse, you can put him in whatever position you want to. He can dictate the pace, but at the same time, he can race. It's a big plus when you have those kind of horses like that. And you see how he's going to go to I believe he's going to the Arkansas Derby. And I think he ran wonderful in the prep for the Arkansas Derby. He was the Rebel. I stepped up to in the level competition and the distance he proved he belonged the horse.
And obviously, a horse with a little more speed like that, the distance becomes a little more of a concern. Did you get a feel in the Rebel? I think that was his first time around 2 turns as well. Did you get a feel for how he's going to handle the distance, perhaps?
That's correct. The way he did it last time, very impressive. 2 turns, like you say, first time, go a long distance. I think he proved he's a really good horse, and I think it's going to move forward. I'm looking forward.
And I want to go to the other side of the country, the West Coast. A couple of weeks ago, Shaman Ghost in the Santa Anita Derby. Obviously a big win for Jimmy Jerkins out there, but you were on board. Talk a little bit about Shaman Ghost and what kind of a player he'll be in the handicap division this year.
It's a great horse. It's a pro horse the way he does. I remember the first time I got on him in the wood, and he was a great horse in the Saratoga. He gave me a good run, and he proved same thing. We went shipping the horse to the East Coast, to the West Coast, and he did handle so well. The way he developed himself, the way he run his style, and the way he finished, I think it's good to have those kind of horses.
Very good. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks to Javier Castellano for joining us. Again, got him in the Jocks room a couple of days ago. It's been a great few days down here at Gulfstream and in the area. We were up at Palm Meadows on Thursday morning. We bounced around the track again. We caught Todd in the winner's circle. We caught the jockeys in the jockeys room, various trainers, different facilities and areas around the racetrack, and had a good time live here on the set as well with some of our guests. Hopefully you appreciated the last couple of days. As always, viewer mail at capitalotb.com, or write us at Twitter if you enjoyed this and want to see more of this kind of thing. We would love to hear from you. We had a great 2 days down here at Gulfstream. Again, big afternoon this afternoon, all kinds of stakes action, $2 million guarantee in the Rainbow Six. If it doesn't get hit, it's a mandatory pay tomorrow. I'll have a rainbow ticket up on the Capital OTB Twitter page just a little bit later today. But I want to take the chance to thank our hosts here at Gulfstream Park. Second year in a row. They've been fabulous hosts. We've had a great time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, what we were able to bring to you. Dave Joseph over in the media department, want to thank him. Of course, Tim Ritvo, the president of Gulfstream Park. It was fun to have him on the set yesterday, but we thank Tim and the entire Stronach group here at Gulfstream. The TV department, they've been great. They do a great job down here. Ben Taylor at the top of the TV department, but Dennis Crocker, Alexis Batia, and Evan Sori on the TV side here at Gulfstream Park. Thanks to them for really making us comfortable here on the paddock set. I want to thank our crew, obviously, up in New York, Dino Cantonacci, Landis Burgess, Pat Peretta, Brian DiRenzo, and Dan Hayes. They did a great job up in Albany as well. John Signor and Bob Dance up on the executive level at Capital OTB. They make it happen for us to come to the events like this. So, again, if you enjoyed it, let us know. Give us a shout-out so we know if you want to see more like this. Comments, questions, suggestions. We'd love to hear from them. I'm going to wrap things up, but once again, thanks to our friends here at Gulfstream. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the races this afternoon. Let's all make some Rainbow Six money over the next couple of days. I will be back north for the Racing Across America on Wednesday morning.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.